Hi guys, welcome back to Honest Straightforward Reviews. Today I have a comparison between the AirPods Pro on my right by Apple and the Elite 75T by Jabra. Alright, without further ado, let's get into this. I'll be breaking this down in 3 segments. First, I'll be looking at the boxes and the unboxing experience. If you guys want to look at the proper unboxing experience, I've got the links in the comments with all the seals and everything. This will be just how the boxes are, okay? So in first segment I'll do that. In the second segment I'll be having a side-by-side comparison of both the cases and the headphones, and the last I'll be looking through features like noise cancellation, sound quality and all that stuff, and finally my verdict. Now before I get into this, I am self-funded guys. If you like to see more content, please do consider subscribing to this channel. It's easy, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and that way you can ensure you're supporting honest, straightforward reviews. Alrighty, let's get into the unboxing first. Let's get those headphones out of the way. I'll start off with Apple, as Apple is known for being minimalistic. So it's got the embossed headphones there, and that's it. Nothing much to see here. Taking it out, that's the box inside. So you get some paperwork that you normally get with Apple products, okay, and that's basically it. Other than that, that's where your AirPods sit, in this little thing, okay, and behind it you'll have a few things like such as the USB-C to lightning cable. So lightning goes into your AirPods Pro, and USB-C goes into a USB-C brick. Other than that, you also get some different tips as well. So you have the medium tips with the AirPods, and you'll have large and small as well. And that's basically it for the AirPods. Alright, let's look at the Jabra, which is surprisingly very different. First things first, you'll notice it slides out, okay? So before I get into that, let's look at the box, okay? Very minimalistic as well. I really like it, okay? I like Jabra, how they don't overwhelm you with information. A lot of other headphones, they'll have information there and here, information flowing through here and everywhere, you know? These guys are very minimalistic, which I like to see. Alright, so let's give this a slide out. Once it's slid out, that's basically it. Inside you don't get anything else, and what you do is you just pull on this tab, and there you go, and you're confronted with the headphones right there, sitting in there. They'll be out of their case, okay, and you'll have little things like this will be inside the case as well, and this will be just there. Alright, the case will be sitting here, and you also have some of the other stuff such as the cabling, okay, which is nice to see, warranty paperwork, and also comes with different tips as well, large and small. It's good to see them completely sealed, okay? I like seeing that. Unlike the Apple ones, they're not sealed, but they're sealed in the box, so much of the same. Alright, let's get into the casings and the headphones themselves. Looking at the cases straight off, you can tell the Jabra is tiny bit smaller, okay, and it's a little bit wider, okay, and a bit thicker as well. So probably the volume would be around the same. Opening it up is exactly the same. So this opens up like that, and the Apple opens up like this, okay, and they sit a tiny bit different, okay. So the Jabra comes out like that, goes in like this, okay, whereas the Apple, they come out like that, and they go with the stem in because they have the stem. Now, looking at the headphones themselves, side by side, so that's what you get, okay. So they're about the same size, although I would say because of that tip here and the stem, I would say the Jabra is a tiny bit smaller, okay. Now, both of these have vents, okay, so they have got vents everywhere. So these vents are really important to dissipate any pressure that's being built up in your ear because of noise cancellation and different atmospheric pressure when you're walking around outside. Now, other than that, the tip on this doesn't feel luxurious at all, okay. it feels a bit tough and things like that. This feels very soft, silky. I like the tip on these, okay? Personally, that's just me personally. Inside, you've got like that, okay? Alright, so now let's get into them a little bit more. Let's talk about design and things like that. Now, design wise, when you're putting on the AirPods, you just put them on, bang, and they go in like that into your ear. No issues there at all, okay? With the Jabra, you've got to kind of get used to it a little bit because they're a bit different, so you've got to twist it in, okay? So you go in like that and you twist it in and it sits there. Now, I've done a review of the Samsung Buds Pro as well. I had a lot of issue with them not staying put. They would pop out all the time, get deactivated and things like that because they had a touch sensor here. Now that's what I like about the AirPods Pro. You have to physically press these stems to activate Siri and all that stuff, you know, so to pause music and all this stuff. Whereas with these, you don't have touch, you have press. So these are buttons, okay? So I'll get into that in a sec as well. Other than that, what I like about these are like, so one, I've not bumped them at all in the time that I've used them. I have yet to pop them out of my ears. They sit in very comfortable, okay? But to be honest, I think because of those tips, they're a bit rough. I feel like the AirPods Pro feel a bit more comfortable inside my ears than these guys. That might be a personal thing. You might find it different, but I definitely found these guys to be a bit tiring after a while, okay? And one little thing that is going to be very important for most people, the AirPods Pro have a IPX4 rating, which is for waterproof and stuff like that, whereas the Jabra Elite 75T has a PI55 water and dust resistant rating, which is a lot higher, so that'll be a lot more durable when you're outdoors and things like that. Now both of them have something that lets the noise come in, okay? So if you're walking around and you're in traffic and you want to be aware of your surrounding, you want the ambient noise to come in, these guys have something called pass-through, and this has transparency mode. They work basically the same. I didn't find any differences. I was pretty happy with both. Now another fact that I would like to mention to you guys is the Jabra, and both of these you can have like one pair of headphones in your ear and still be able to use it, okay? The Apple, you can pull any of them out and still be able to hear it. So if you've got the left one in and the right one out, you can still hear music and stuff like that. With Jabra, you can only do it with the right one. So that's kind of a thing to know. So if you've pulled out from your right ear, it'll just stop the music altogether. Now let's get into some of the controls. So one press with the stem, either stem, pauses or plays the music with the AirPods Pro. Two presses makes Siri comes on, or you can skip forward, or three tabs go, you can pick that in iPhone settings or an app on Android. Also you can have three presses for a previous track, hold it for noise cancellation or noise cancellation off or transparency mode, and it also has Hey Siri, where you go Hey Siri and it just listens to that. On my left hand side, where I've got the Jabra, you press once on the right earbud for the music to stop, okay, or pause or play, and answer or reject or end a call, okay? So one tap on the right. The left taps through the different hearing modes, such as noise cancellation off, and pass-through mode. If you press the left side twice, it skips a track, okay? Three times it goes to previous track. If you hold it for 2 seconds, press and hold for 2 seconds, it starts decreasing the volume, okay? If you press and hold the right side for more than 2 seconds, it starts increasing the volume, okay? And if you press the right side twice, it just rejects a call, resumes a call if you're on call, or access smart assistants, whereas like Siri and whatnot. Looking at battery life, these guys offer you 24 hours with case. These guys offer you 28 hours with case. 4 hours is a massive difference, guys, especially in this end. Also, another thing to notice is I had both of them running at about 40% volume, playing the same sort of things in the same areas, okay, when I was testing them out. The AirPods Pro lasts about 4.5 to 5 hours, okay, with everything turned on, noise cancellation. These go up to 7.5, okay, a whole day, okay, without an issue. Now, when we come to noise cancellation, the H1 chip that are in the AirPods Pro that help it connect and things like that, they also are very smart for noise cancellation, especially rendering low frequency sounds with the noise cancellation active. Noise cancellation performs consistently from about 100 to 500 hertz, which is really impressive because sound, as you can appreciate, fluctuates. It doesn't just stay the same. You know, the truck goes by, it doesn't have the same sound when it goes by you. I don't know how much of that is due to just noise cancellation or actually the seal in your ear forming really well, okay. I've used some headphones that have just a really good seal which does noise isolation, so that when you've got a nice seal in your ear with no noise cancellation technology, it's called noise isolation, okay. So I don't know how much of this is noise isolation as compared to the noise cancellation technology. Upper mid-range and tremble frequencies are very difficult for noise cancellation to overcome because these sounds are usually unpredictable compared to ongoing sounds such as road noise and airplanes and things like that. Now, the only gripe that I've got with these guys, they have noise cancellation, and noise cancellation gets introduced in them after you do a firmware update. However, the one thing that I can't do anything is like have it adjustable. It just got that one thing, whereas this has adaptive noise cancellation. This doesn't, okay. Also, passive or noise isolation is very good on this as well. It reduces light chatter, but don't expect like low frequencies just to disappear, you know what I mean. You'll be still able to suss out people are talking around you and hear them if you're listening and things like that. However, what I would suggest to you guys is with the Jabras, try out the different tips, okay. It makes a world of a difference. Now, when it comes to connectivity, these guys are very easy to connect if you've got the app or without the app into Bluetooth settings of your phone. These guys just take it to another level, okay, where you just open the case and they come onto your phone and you just connect, and then they get connected to your iCloud, so you don't have to pair it with your Apple Watch or MacBook and things like that. Whereas this you'll have to pair it up to different things. What I would note is in regards to pairing is this has something where you have multi-point connection, okay, so you can connect it to two devices simultaneously and you can just swap between it. That was really useful for me. I really loved that about this. Now, the Jabra also supports SBC and AAC codecs, okay, which is really useful because if you use Androids, most Androids would be going for SBC, a stable connection, because AAC isn't consistent across all Android devices, whereas Apple just goes with AAC. All right, so this would do both, but because they're Bluetooth and they're in-ear and they're not really like made for high-end sound, I doubt you'll notice much of a difference between the sound quality in these. But one of the biggest points that the AirPods Pro has is that H1 chip, which allows for seamless and stable connection when using an iOS device. So it makes sure your connection is stable. It makes sure you've got a really good content that is being processed, and it keeps adjusting the noise cancellation according to your listening environment, you know. So that is a really real strong point for this. Now, another thing that I want to show you guys, which will be the app, okay. So in the Apple ones, all you got is AirPods Pro, and you go in there and you basically play around with just really simple, having the presses and things like that, what you want it to do. Whereas the Jabra, it takes it to just a different level. Let me show you guys. Okay, so the Jabra, I'll take these out and put them in because that's the only way it'll work. So So there you go. So that's basically the app for Jabra Elite 75T. Okay, so it's got your own way of having it commute, where it just goes through here through, and yeah. So for example, I've got noise cancellation on now and focused and things like that. You've got the music equalizer as well. You can play around with that gives you a lot more playability. Okay, you've got preset ones as well. So for example, I've got it on speech right now. Okay, I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm walking around, when I'm going to the gym, so I have that. One thing I'll note though is this is very bass heavy, bass centric. Okay, a bit like the beats and things like that. Other than that, it also has something very gimmicky. I think it's called Soundscape. Soundscape is basically, if you want to put them in, have the noise cancellation on and listen to waves or something like that. You can have other things like discover, how to use these and things like that. And that's basically it. You can also upgrade them through these apps as well. They're not as involved as the Sony ones, but they're not bad either. It's a nicety to have. Now let's talk about sound a little bit. Okay, the Apple AirPods Pro is something that I found in the Apple AirPods Max as well. And the problem I had with the Max is it didn't decide what it wanted to be. And I'm okay with this, okay, because it's not that high-end kind of headphones. Over the ears are normally high-end. You want to have a really good profile. These are okay. These are consumer friendly. They don't emphasize one over the other. They have a nice emphasis on bass and treble frequencies, low-end frequencies. Now the low-end frequency bump on the AirPods Pro isn't as amplified as on other truly wireless headphones, like for example the Beats or these guys here. While this level of restraint in the bass prevents auditory masking, which is a good thing. Okay, so auditory masking, what I mean by that is it masks mid-range frequencies, okay, which is not what you want. You might find like the tremble emphasis a bit too loud with these as well. And what this does is it basically retains vocal and instrumental clarity, okay, and hip-hop songs sound nice. Basically in electronic songs it sounds nice, like dance and things like that. However, it can over time have a bit of an discomfort. Okay, now this guy just brings you bass. Okay, these guys are known for the bass. They exaggerate your low-end notes, making them sound 3 times louder than mids, while the extra bass is, I would say, is really welcomed when you're working out and you want to drown out noise from everywhere, and you've got it turned up a bit with noise cancellation in there. What it does, it makes other sound unclear. So mid-range and tremble notes, they're very unclear because of the louder bass. It basically masks it. Basically, to compensate for that, you can play around with the equalizer and maybe you can get a bit of a better experience. Now, when it comes to making phone calls, the Apple, when these first came out, when I tried to answer a phone call without firmware updates and things like that, they were completely horrendous. I hated it. But over the time, they've really improved it. I am very impressed, especially with the stem coming out and sticking out and working through that. These guys, they have 4 mics. You should get a really good call quality, and you do. Okay, I'm very happy with these. If I had to pick between them, I'd pick the Apple, but not by much. These do it really well as well. Alright guys, now let's get to the final verdict. If you are an Apple person and you've got a lot of cash, go for these. Alright, these cost nearly half the price of these. These are about $220, 400 Australian dollars here, okay? $400, okay? And these are not bad. I really like them. They're my everyday headphones, okay? These are when I'm working out and about and things like that, and I need to listen to what I'm editing and things like that. These are not bad, they sit in your pocket nicely. But I'm starting to really like this, especially at the gym. I feel like with these I can turn them up. The noise cancellation is really good, but because they're so small and the noise isolation, everything is fine. But because it doesn't have that bass and that oomph, it doesn't really help drown out loud music around me, whereas these do. Okay, so These don't do it because they've got fantastic noise cancellation or anything like that, or noise isolation, but they do it because of that bass. So it might be a thing. And another thing I would like to note to you guys is these are really good when it comes to their water and dust resistance. So if you're someone who's going to be working out, you're going to be out there, out and about, you want robust headphones that will work with 2 devices. If you got 3 devices you want to be paired with all the time, look at that, and if they're Apple, okay. But if you've got Android and you've got a computer, this is the guy. This is not locked into Apple's ecosystem, got a nice app to play around with it and things like that, half the price. So this someone, if you want to go to the gym, you don't want to splash out too much, can't complain about these at all. Other than that, if you're locked into Apple's ecosystem, you like premium sound and things like that, I'll go with these. Thank you for staying to the end of the video, guys. I've got TikTok, Instagram and Twitter. I've also got Patreon. Check those out. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Take good care. Bye bye.